let me preface this video by saying that AI will not replace reading. AI can summarize the text, it can summarize the book, and it can be used as a learning companion, but that doesn't mean it can read a book for you. Reading is not only about extracting information, but it is about exploring things you didn't know before, things you wouldn't even think to ask AI about, new ideas. With that, you expand your mind, learn new thinking patterns, and then know where to pursue your learning towards. Each person that reads a book will have their own different interpretations and also notes and different thoughts that they have come up with when they're reading. So please, please, please don't waste and don't abandon that sacred ritual. With that being said, we can now move on to the actual meat and potatoes of this video, which is how to use AI to supercharge your learning. So the first tool that we're going to explore in this video is Notebook LM. And if you don't know what it is essentially a AI workspace that helps you with learning. And it's connected using these notebooks. It's made by Google. And if you have a subscription to Google Workspaces, you have a little bit of a better experience when it comes to it. You have expanded, I believe, the amount of notebooks that you can create, and I think slightly more intelligent AI. But from what I experienced so far, this is more than enough, honestly. So let me show you how it differs from the standard GPTs and standard AIs. I first started creating a notebook for each ebook or each note and everything, but I recommend actually categorizing them because you do have a limit on the amount of notebooks that you can create. Here's what it looks like when you actually upload the document. I uploaded this book here, One Good Trade, and I talked with AI before this to give me some more insights, some more material from here to expand upon what did the writers say, to give me some concrete examples. I would recommend to use this as a learning companion rather than do it and read it for you, because if you just extract the notes here, it might miss a lot of stuff. So I recommend uploading the ebook and also uploading your own notes as well. So what are some key characteristics? Interesting characteristic of this, and the one that I want to lead with, is audio overview. This is essentially podcast on demand for your notes for the books. You can create a podcast that you can listen to about your learning material. So here's the one about this. Take a listen.
Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to do what we do best. Take the information you, our listener, have sent our way and, well, extract the crucial, actionable insights.
That's the plan.
Today, you've steered us into the pretty fascinating world of proprietary trading. We've got excerpts from Mike Bellafiore's One Good Trade.
Exactly. And in this deep dive, we're going to try and cut through to the core principles and the distinct environment of prop trading as Bellafiore really presents it.
Right.
Think of this as your direct line to understanding the essential knowledge in the book, maybe without having to wade through every single page yourself.
Yeah, a shortcut. And it's interesting because One Good Trade offers a real insider's perspective, doesn't it? From someone who actually founded a prop trading firm. Mm-hmm. Plus, it was written, I think, during a period of significant market upheaval around the 2008 financial crisis. That adds a layer.
Absolutely. That context is key. And it's important to understand right off the bat that this isn't just a simple, how to make quick money trading guide, establish fundamentals with each trading decision you make.
He uses some good analogies for this, doesn't he? I remember something about Coach K at Duke.
Precisely. Yeah, he draws a really insightful parallel to Coach Koseski's next play philosophy. The idea is that after any play, good or bad, the focus immediately shifts to the next one.
Okay.
Similarly, at SMB, the mantra is this constant repetition. One good trade, then one good trade. It's all about that sequential moment-to-moment.
That's insane. So you can see that it's a very interesting listen. Like, it makes you engaged by these two people having a conversation. And I use this after I read a book and after I extract my notes to make this information stick more. I go for a walk, I go for a run, whatever. I usually listen to podcasts then. And then if I'm really focused into learning a certain topic, I might not want to, listen to a random podcast, but actually something on this topic. And what better way to do that than on that book and that note itself? So it's brilliant. And what you can do, I'm not sure if I can do it on a free plan. Let's check it out. But there's this thing called interactive mode where you can interrupt them and ask them questions.
So the key insight is...
Let's see.
Welcome to the deep dive.
Hey there, sorry for the interruption, but I want to ask you guys, is there any specific setup that Mike mentions in the book that we can use to actually enter the trade?
That's a great question. It sounds like you're looking for something really concrete.
Yeah, a specific trigger, a way to put these ideas into action right away.
Belfiore does talk about different types of trading strategies.
He mentions things like breakouts from congestion.
Exactly. And trading off support and resistance levels.
He also talks about identifying consolidation setups.
So while he doesn't give a single foolproof setup with exact entry rules,
It's more about understanding the context
precisely, it's about recognizing those patterns he mentions.
and then applying his one good trade philosophy to them.
So when you see a potential breakout, for example,
You'd then evaluate it based on those 7 fundamentals he outlined.
right, is it a stock in play? What's the risk reward?
That kind of thorough assessment before you jump in.
See, it's crazy. Another thing that is interesting is mind maps. When you have it here, you can do mind map and then it will generate one for you. I already generated one. So here's what it looks like. How would you use this? It's a little bit... it's a double-edged sword. Why? Well, why do we use mind maps? We use mind maps to have a better visualization of the information, like I talked in the previous video. Best way for to remember the information is to have a detailed organizational system that your brain can use to remember it, creating subtopics and having like a visual representation of it helps you remember it, just like in Obsidian. So that's here, that's available automatically. But a very good thing about creating mind maps is that you're constantly engaging with that material. So you're reviewing it, then you're using that information to create stuff, and it's constant engagement with that material that helps it also stick more. And you're losing that on here. So I wouldn't rely too much on this to replace all of your mind maps, but I think it's a nice way to have this as a toolkit to review stuff quickly. For example, if you're just trying to, before your test starts, just to have it expanded here, all the key concepts, and then you can quickly grasp over them. Now, here's the thing: the more sources you have, the more it can, be interconnected and have different opinions congregate together into some new ideas. But it can also be a little bit buggy if you ask it for a specific thing. If you just say briefly a book or this or that, the more it grows, the more complex it gets, and also the more bugs it has. So keep that in mind. And a thing that I really, really don't like is this study guide here. It's really plain and very one-dimensional. What I mean is it's focused on not retention, but on memorization. So it's just like, a traditional school test. It just focuses on, memorizing as much as possible rather than synthesizing that knowledge and understanding it in a practical manner, that you can connect these ideas. The best way to learn is to connect these ideas and to have them, actually be applicable, and to actually, connect them, and then you got that eureka moment. Aha, these things fall into place, and this is why, it's important. And this really doesn't do it justice. How to actually learn using AI and not use this study guide, that's where Socratic teaching comes into play. You don't learn by remembering things, you learn by interacting with the material. And that's why the traditional learning methods are so terrible, because they emphasize trying to memorize the school books, textbooks, whatever. instead of having interactive systems that help you synthesize these informations. So the best way to approach this is by using something called Socratic learning. And Socratic learning was named after the Socrates, the ancient philosopher, and essentially, in layman's terms, it means learning by discussion. You will ask questions to dig deeper into the material and uncover the problems or gaps in your learning. So you ask questions and then sub-questions and then sub-questions. Why is that? Why is this? And so on, until you can't anymore. And then by that, you find the actual gap in your knowledge. Okay, you can go maybe one question and then you're stuck. Maybe you can go 3 questions deep and then you're stuck, and so on. And maybe you're satisfied with the current level of understanding, so you don't have to dig deeper. And really, this is an underrated concept in learning. Not many people understand this, and that's why they are stuck with their speed of learning and with the whole process of it. You can easily 10x your learning by implementing this method. Now, you don't have access to Socrates or Socratic teachers, and if you did, there's a chance that they would cost you a lot of money. So, what you can do is you can leverage AI by prompting it to become a Socratic teacher for you, or you can leverage something which I linked below, which is my GBD, completely free. I don't get anything from it. I just trained it. I'm interested in AI, and I trained it so we can use it. And you will see how it works later. But here's, if you want to prompt it for yourself and train it yourself, here are some core questions or examples of how this would look like, so AI can understand. First, clarification. What exactly do you mean by that? Probing assumptions. What are you assuming here? Evidence and reasoning. What's the evidence for this belief? Alternative use. Is there another way of looking at this? Implications. What would follow if this were true? Questioning the question. Why do you think this question matters? So any single topic that you learn, you can break down to this. And especially if it's something that you really care about, this will make you an expert really in understanding this. And not only that, but it will make you more confident in actually the stuff that you learn. So this is my Socratic teacher, and what I usually do is I upload a document. This is the book that I read recently, Act as a Socratic Teacher, and help me in understanding the teaching from this book better. Ask. Let's do it like this. First, let's see what it comes up with. Searching its knowledge. Okay. What about the book's core message challenge resonates most deeply with your current understanding of sex and wealth, or if you prefer just a specific talk? Okay, so this is a little bit broad, but sure, let's start with this. What about the book's core message challenge and resonated most deeply with your current understanding of success and wealth? Hard pill to swallow was rewiring my brain. That you don't have to do stuff that you love to earn substantial amount of money, but you can follow, you can leverage a fast lane business, automate it, and then do stuff you actually wanna do. As often the things you like to do aren't as profitable, so they make this journey much slower instead of focusing on profits in the first place. It's really interesting. So what do you think are the assumptions behind the follow your passion philosophy? And why might those assumptions fall short in the fast lane framework? That's a very good question. So as you can see here, it's building upon things that you answer, and then it challenges you more and more and more until you stop. Then you have to research, and then you continue with that until you essentially become a master of topic. Here are some useful prompts that I found over the course of a few months that I explored this topic, and here's one for flashcards. You can use Anki flashcards, but this is much easier, free, so on. So here are my notes. Make me a flashcard to help me study. Each flashcard should have the term on one side and a brief explanation on the other. Use my explanations where available, and if you have suggestions for alternatives, put them in italics so that I know what are my words. I won't read everything for you. You have your own eyes and you can learn, and we don't want to waste your time. This is a very cool one where AI acts as a bakery assistant, bakery shopkeeper in a certain country, and then you say that you're a beginner in language and that you want to talk with AI in that language. And that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching it, and I hope you enjoyed. All the resources that I mentioned are in the description below, including the GPT. And if you liked it, please subscribe, leave a like, and see you guys in the next video.